Alright, world. It's Vesper again. Starting with my second video. I recorded another one yesterday and tried to post it, but the audio was missing for some reason. Don't know why. But it was probably best because I was a little upset when I was posting or recording it. And I think it just has to deal with my own frustrations with myself and, the shadow side within myself. There's a law of mirrors that a lot of people don't realize. I call it the law of mirrors because there's an aspect within our psyche that we see in which we can't see it in ourselves, but we can see it in others. So the video posted, but the audio didn't, which is fine. It was just one of those videos that I probably shouldn't have put out. A lot of times whenever I try to put something out and it's not meant to be, the universe kind of stops me in some way along the process, which is why I haven't done a lot of videos in the past. Yesterday I did my introduction video into who I am, and as I post videos you'll get to know me a little bit more, but that was the basics. I did fail to mention what I do, what I am capable of doing, what I am put here to do, which is music. Not just music, anything audio, visual, art. I'm an artist on all levels. I mean, from sculpting and painting to music, every aspect of art is me. So, and over the years, I have taught myself, and I'm self-taught. And with access to my past life memories, I've definitely learned multiple instruments in the past life, because it seems like when I access that memory from my Akash, I can sit down and pretty much play any instrument. Piano is my primary one, but it's interesting. I can't read sheet music, but you put me in front of a piano and I can play whatever I hear in my head. There is an aspect of music that a lot of people don't know, which is there's two different tuning scales. Now, I'm going to start doing music videos, like not music videos, but videos on music in the future. And that will be posted onto my regular YouTube page, which the reason why I haven't posted any of these vlogs on there is, one, I want to keep it separate. This is spirituality topics and mental health topics, life topics, and they really don't meld well with music. So all of my music stuff is going to be posted onto my music page. On top of that, I've been hit with quite a few copyright strikes because I am a DJ, and when YouTube made their changes to the algorithm, DJs were the first ones to get hit. All of our mixes, once that content ID system went into effect, all of our mixes essentially got taken down from pretty much every platform. I had a paid subscription to SoundCloud, and as soon as Sony bought them out and implemented their content ID system, my account got hit with 3 strikes in 5 minutes and shut down. I couldn't even log back in to dispute those claims. And similar things happened on YouTube, where I've been hit with copyright strikes and disputed them under fair use and was able to keep my account. However, it just makes it really difficult to post anything that isn't your own content on YouTube. So when it comes to my mixes, DJ mixes, I'll make updates on my YouTube page, and the link will be in the description below. But I won't post them onto YouTube. And I also do want to give you guys some resources when it comes to music. A lot of us in the spiritual community are looking for artists that resonate with us, music that resonates with us, that is, uplifting, higher vibrational music. And a lot of the people in the spiritual community don't know where to find it. They don't know where to look. If they stumble upon an artist or a song, it's by happenstance, which I don't believe in coincidence. Like, if you come across something that resonates with you, it was meant for you. So I'm going to start posting some stuff on my regular YouTube page, and that one is DJ Vesper X. You also can follow me on Twitter, which is at DJ Vesper, on Instagram, which I really don't even use like that. You could probably see it's been years since I posted, but it's the same thing, at DJ Vesper. Today I just want to talk about, since this is the second video that I'm doing, I want to talk about duality. A lot of people don't even really know what that word is. If you don't, I recommend you look it up. Google duality and duality definition to try to get a definition of this word so that you can get a grasp of what I'm about to talk about. So duality in a nutshell is seeing things as either A or B, black or white, good or bad, opposing opposites, positive, negative. That is a reality in which it's one or the other. And duality is, how do I put it? It's the original sin. If you go back and pick up your Bible and read Genesis, Genesis is very much written in a metaphor. A lot of people take it literally, but it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for the flower of life. That's one thing. If you're not familiar with that, I definitely recommend going back and looking through some of the old Spirit Science videos, episodes 1 through 32. Those episodes are all based on the Flower of Life books. And Genesis is the flower of life. It describes how to draw the flower of life from a metaphor standpoint. But on a deeper standpoint, when you go into the metaphor of the Garden of Eden, what was the Garden of Eden? That represented Earth, a perfectly pristine, beautiful place. And then there were man, and everything was fine until man was tempted to eat. Well, they blame it on the woman, but come on, we all know. But she ate from the tree of life, right? The tree of life. And what was the fruit that she ate? From the tree of life came the fruit and the knowledge of good and evil. That is the original sin. The knowledge of good and evil. Duality. So if you have not let go of duality as your perception, as your way of looking at the world, you are still trapped in the original sin. Baptism is only a representation of the ritual that you have to go through within. Because when you let go of duality, it is like water washing your soul, cleansing away all of your darkness at its root. Because ultimately, all of our shadow comes from an aspect of duality, seeing things as either A or B, good or bad, left or right, black or white. It doesn't matter. If you're seeing it as one or the other, you are trapped in duality. And the purpose of letting go of your original sin and embracing God is to let go of the duality, to let go of seeing things as right or wrong. Because ultimately, people that are doing things that are wrong don't do things because they think they're wrong. They do them because they think it's right. If you look at any of these superhero movies, the bad guy always thinks he's doing something right. Ends justifying the means type stuff. Where, I'm doing good. Like, if you look at Thanos and the Marvel movies, he thought that he was doing the universe good by wiping out half the population. So there really isn't a good or bad. It's all about perception, how you perceive things. Do you perceive things as good or bad? But in reality, if you're looking at things from an objective standpoint, meaning you are not in a place of duality, you are looking at things as they are without any filters or beliefs, objectively, things just are what they are. There is no good or bad. Now, does that mean that there is things that we could be doing better or things that are worse? Absolutely. There is definitely a correct way to do things and an incorrect way to do things. And even when you find a correct way to do something, there's always a more correct way to do it. So there's always room for growth. So when you start seeing things, or if you use terminology like that's so wrong or that's not right, you're stuck in duality. And it's a lot of inner work to go through, but it's worth it in the end, because when you start to let go of that idea of right or wrong, good or bad, and you start to just objectively look at things from a place of logic and not emotion, you know, a lot like a like a Vulcan from the Star Trek universe, you know, look at things from a place of logic and not emotion, objectively just observe. You can see the truth. You know, a lot of people, my father being a cop, you know, I was exposed to a lot of cop jargon and lingo and things that, you know, little euphemisms that they say that they think are really deep, but they're really not. But there was one that always did stick with me because it deals with duality. And it's funny because a lot of the people that use this terminology are using it from a place of duality, but it also explains duality. So I'm going to give you this little analogy. My father said to me once, he said, you know, when it comes to being an investigator and a detective, he said there's one side of the story, there's the other side of the story, and then somewhere in the middle is the truth. And when you're walking that line of duality, and you know, I'm going to use analogies. When it comes to spirituality, analogies always do better, because you can always say it's like something, but you can never say that it is this, because everybody's perception is different. And there's really no way to put into words these spiritual concepts. The only way to really explain it is through analogy. So I'm going to give you a couple analogies when it comes to duality. One, you can look at it like a tightrope. Janelle Monáe's song Tightrope is all about this, where you're walking the line. And if you lean too much to the left, you could end up in the dark. If you lean too much to the right, you could end up in to, you know, too much light, you know, and only seeing the good. So if you're walking the line, you can see both the good and the bad at the same time. Here's another analogy. The scales, like the Libra scales or the scales of justice. You know, you can be on one side of the scale or the other, or you could be standing right in the middle on the pillar that it's balancing on, and see both sides equally without putting your finger on the scale and changing it. So that's another analogy, you know. So my next video is going to be on triality. It's something that there really isn't a term for. That's why I kind of put it out there. But it's a way of looking at things from all three perspectives, not just left, right, good, bad, you know, the duality aspect, and not just the tightrope perspective. It's a way of being in all three places at once. And Magenta Pixie is one of the people I follow, and I love her when it comes to a lot of the spiritual stuff. When it comes to the truther stuff, I'll get into that topic later, but I think she's misled by some programs out there and doesn't realize it. But I digress. She has a great interpretation of all of this, and she calls it bilocational perception. But when I talk about triality or duality, I mean, really, if you're in more than one perception at once, you are in bilocational consciousness, where you can be in two different states of consciousness at once. You can see things as they are. You can see things from one perspective. You can see things from the other perspective, all at the same time. And it makes your awareness of what's really going on it takes it to another level, because reality is very much based on perception, and perception is very much individual. None of us see the world the same. That's why none of us are going to agree on anything. You know, one of the biggest parts of the spiritual community for newcomers and those that have been in it for a while, we all need to understand that, you know, just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that they're wrong or right, or that you're wrong or right. It just means that they have a different perception of something. And you're not going to have that same perception. You might agree on some things, but nobody will ever agree on everything the same. It's impossible. God created us all different on purpose for a reason. So to expect us all to be doing the same exact thing or to have the same type of belief structure, it's an impossibility. We were all created different for a reason. You know, our differences go well beyond the physical. Well beyond the physical. You know, gay people, you know, were put on this planet for a reason, to show people that our differences go beyond what you can see, beyond what you know. Our differences are internal as well. And we were put here to teach the planet acceptance and non-judgment, because, you know, God doesn't make mistakes, you know. And even if you want to look at it from a scientific standpoint, you know, we have been having an overpopulation issue. So maybe Mother Earth or the universe or just nature in general created gay people for a reason, to make sure that we're not overpopulating. So, you know, these are all the types of things I want you to think about when you're looking at your own perspective on life. And if you're looking to make a change, start looking at what's going on internally. What are the belief structures that I have that are causing me to look at it from this perspective as right or wrong, or good or bad, from this duality perspective? Because once you let go of duality, then you're free to form your own opinions based on an objective perspective. So you're looking at it from above versus on the ground floor, on one end or the other. You're seeing the whole chessboard or the whole checkerboard. You're seeing all of the places instead of being in one spot on the board and only seeing what's in front of you. Because life is a lot more complex than that. It can't just be one way or the other. It's always at the same time. Anyway, so this is my second video. Give it a thumbs up if you want. Subscribe if you want. I really don't care. This channel is not about making money. This channel is not about putting myself out there for exposure. It's about helping you. Because what I have gone through, I know other people have gone through too, or are going through it. And I'm here to share my story so that maybe, hopefully, it can help you or someone else. I'm sending y'all love and light. Now, on the self-promotion tip, if you do want to follow me and help me get my money up, go to my links that I gave you at the beginning of this, which is DJ Vesper on Twitter and on Instagram and on YouTube. That is where I am going to be focusing on the business. If you want free videos that just talk about spirituality, where I'm just ranting and on my soapbox talking, this is the place for you. Anyway, love and light. God bless. Stay safe out there.